The black cats got Dave N. The white cats, they got Doug. The Google search engine has...
Question for you. Questions for Ann.
I'm next.
All right, deal. We'll do question for question.
I'm ready. Shoot.
I'm always interested in how do you build a Twitter following? In other words, I made an interesting comment on Twitter last week, I think, that said, like, I'm going to get 98 new followers, or no, it was a spoof off of the people. You know, the people that have the automatic tools that say, like, I got 113 new followers this week, whatever. I hope you don't use them. I always read them and go, like, oh, man, that's spam itself. Like, I don't care about your numbers.
I'm not.
What's that? You don't use them? All right, good. I hope I'm not offending you. But I see them by, like, big name people, too, and I'm like, you know, why are you telling me this? I don't care. So I did, like, a spoof post, and I said something like, I gained 100 new followers this week, but next week I'm going to lose 98 of them when I don't follow them back. I realize that 98% of the people that follow me are pretty much just, they're following everyone, and pretty much in a week later when I don't follow them back, they're going to unfollow me. It's kind of funny. I have a little tool that shows people that have unfollowed me, and it's like all the people that I see today, all these spam accounts where you can tell, they're following 3,100 people, and they're followed by 1,000 something, and they're just. But then again, how do you grow from scratch with a Twitter account? I mean, I guess part of it is you do want to follow a whole bunch, and as part of that game, like follow a bunch and then unfollow when they don't follow back. What do you do as a struggling business? We're kind of lucky because we already have the big following, so we get to choose, so to
early
speak.
Adopters. That's why you should start earlier.
But when you're not early, like, so there's my big long question to you. Do you play the follow a whole bunch and then don't follow? And how do you grow a Twitter following?
Well, first of all, you absolutely start with following a few people, not thousands, because that would look spammy to anyone.
How many people do you follow, out of curiosity, on one of your main accounts?
3,000.
And how many followers do you have?
48,000.
All right, so a very small percentage.
Yeah, but I started by following people when I got on Twitter, because I cannot, I should have someone to retweet, to interact with.
But to build up those 3,000 has taken about, like, how many years to reach 3,000 people that you've decided to follow?
I started in 2008, so how many years?
So, yes, 7 years.
7 years of following people, yeah. That's.
And you built up 3,000. I was probably about the same time, and I follow, like, 550 people, and I have, like, 10,000 some odd followers. But even there, it's those 500 people, I know them all. There's a great reason that I'm following them, and even there sometimes there's noise. I think at one point I used to have more followers and I had to just get rid of them. It's just like, how can you even follow 3,000 people? Like, how do you look through that feed?
I usually don't look through that feed. I have Twitter lists where I have those like 100 people that I know have no noise.
See, I just follow all my 500.
Yeah, but 500 is still a lot for the
semi-manageable.
Feed. Yeah, but still, Twitter is all about noise. You cannot get along without noise on Twitter. It's Twitter. Everyone is. It's all noise. But yeah, it's tough. Are
there groups and things you can join in Twitter? Are there, what are other ways to kind of find who do you find to even follow?
Twitter chats, especially in our industry, you have like 2 or 3 Twitter chats every day.
You host them yourself?
You host them?
What is a Twitter chat?
Okay, so we have a hashtag. One hashtag which is well branded. You say, hey, on Tuesday at 11 a.m. EST. You use that hashtag to tweet about something. And that's,
so for example, it could be tweet Jim and Ann.
Yes. Or we can have a hashtag Jim and.
Hashtag Jim and.
Jim and Ann. Yeah. And people start at that time, they go to Twitter and they start using that hashtag to read each other's what they say about that.
So they're kind of searching Google for that hashtag? I'm sorry, searching Twitter for that
I know, searching
hashtag.
Is Google.
So they search Twitter with a hashtag because they're like, all right, what's being talked about with Jim and Ann, and they put in that hashtag, and they then can see what's being said and can participate.
Yeah,
as
they
well.
can reply, they can ask questions, they can answer questions, like any other discussion. But all those followers of each participator see that discussion and feel likely to participate as well. So it's like a radio show where everyone can join at any second. The good thing about that is that you pick up followers there. Many people follow everyone who is on the same Twitter chat and interact with people. You pick up mentions, you pick up retweets, your account suddenly seems alive and you're not lonely anymore. And if you have time, you can do that every day. Pick a Twitter chat. There are just search Twitter chat and your topic, like Twitter chat health problems. There are lots of Twitter chats on health. Health industry is huge.
I just got some numbers. Just keep on talking, Angela. I'm gonna pull up some numbers here.
Yeah.
As you were saying.
So there are lots of health related Twitter chats, and many of them are about the current problem that the health industry is tackling right now. Or there are a lot of hashtags of women's rights, government. Even I think that White House has a Twitter chat a few months ago where you could ask your question. American government would answer using that hashtag. So that's a huge thing, and the main thing is just to find those regular ones to come weekly and just do the Twitter chat.
I just got numbers in. We do a lot of Twitter chats for clients, and I got we did a show today. Well, not me, but one of our other ninjas, and that we'll say it was in the auto business, and I can't read those numbers. Hold on, I'm going to yell the numbers to you. So the Twitter chat we did today was an 80-minute event. There were 106 tweets sent out by the client. There were 93 retweets, 168 favorites, 136 mentions. New followers from this chat was 64. Total impressions 39,049. The total engagement was 908. And that particular account has 16,600 followers. That particular account that I'm referring to, we started that Twitter account with pretty much at zero.
Yeah.
I think the account existed, and maybe there were like 50 or 100 followers, and I think it's been close to 2 years now, and now there's over 16,000 followers on that account. And the funny thing is this was actually a smaller time client, a smaller time company. They weren't like a household brand name at all, and we've built up their Twitter account to over 16,000 followers, all people that are very tightly within this industry. It's like they're all auto people, and very well known for being auto people, and all the auto people all know this brand now, and they're all participating in these weekly chats, and they're all, using all that lingo to each other, and they're good buddies, and they'll share things, and it's actually quite amazing that we've taken this, what was a small-time client, we've turned them into a major brand on social. They are incredibly well known in social. They are the authorities now that other people go to. And the interesting thing is the person who runs that account is, I don't know, he's a 27-year-old guy that's been working for us for 3 or 4 years, working with other clients, and he's not an auto guy. Like this type of auto thing, he's not the expert on it, to say the least, but he understands what people like and what's going to spread and what's interesting, and check out this picture, and he knows the entertaining things for that industry, and he puts out really entertaining things for that industry, and everyone likes them. And if all these people had any clue that this guy, who has so much respect as a 27-year-old guy that really doesn't know a whole lot, he's certainly learned a lot over the past few years about this, but he's not the guru that you would think, but he gets social, and the other people in the industry, the other experts, they don't get social, and he does, and that's kind of why he's built up this really big following in these weekly chats. I mean, this was just the weekly chat from today.
Yeah, it's amazing that social media gives that opportunity to small small businesses really become brands, which is still like a huge competitive advantage in many industries, because not many people still get social media marketing. So there is still a huge opportunity. You would think that everyone knows what Twitter is, but so few people know how to use it to build your brand. So when you are both an expert in your industry and you get social, you can become a huge brand.
And I think another thing as well to become that brand is making connections with not just people that are within the industry or the topic that you're involved with, but finding the influencers and making connections with influencers. And how do you get a major influencer to acknowledge the little guy? I know that our social media team was 2 weeks ago. They had we had a contest with them, and it was to find a quote from that influencer. So all of our social people, all the clients that they're working on, they all have a list of influencers, and they're not day one trying to reach out to the influencers. I think that they're starting out more becoming friends with the people within the community. And then once they're friends with a lot of people in the communities, then after they have a little bit of cred, then it's kind of looking to make contact in a sense with the influencers. And so one of the things that they did a couple weeks ago is they took pictures, they found a quote from the influencer. So they read through some of the influencers' things, found a neat little quote, and put it on the background of a picture. Maybe it was a picture of the person or a sunset or whatever, but like, here's that quote and here's that picture, and then they would tweet that picture along with the influencer's name on it. Oh, that worked like a charm. We had, you can't say, but we had major influencers, people with, over 1 million followers, writing back and saying, hey, that's awesome, and retweeting it on their site, and other people liking it and favoriting it, and like, wow, that was awesome. Like, we got the main people to retweet it themselves, and from there it also picked up more retweets and favorites, and that's all good. And now these influencers are now like, oh yeah, like little Bob, like, he did that quote. That's really cool. Like, Bob's a neat guy. I think Bob did that himself, and it's like, and they remember Bob, and then they start watching Bob more, and maybe they'll even like follow Bob. And how do I say it? It's just, there's things that you can do. I think one of the other things we did was making a list of all the influencers' birthdays. Now suddenly we're going to get all sorts of birthday pictures from us, but on their birthdays, I think here's one of the things we did for birthdays. So one of the first ones that we did was for a major social player. Everyone would know the person's name, and his birthday was a few days ago, and they did like a happy birthday with a picture of him and kind of the brand topic thing behind him. And of course, the person who probably got 1 million different happy birthdays that day never acknowledged the picture that we tweeted, because that person gets 1 million happy birthdays. But some of the influencers aren't, people with 1 million followers, and some of the influencers, something on Twitter unique like that, like a happy birthday with a nice picture from someone else. Like, I guess these, to go where I'm going with that, is these are in a sense votes. I don't want to say like links, but when Google's looking at things like tweets, and if you tweet, some huge influencer, hey, Gary Busey, happy birthday, for example. It kind of shows Google that, oh, Gary Busey's an influence on me. I'm tweeting and mentioning Gary Busey. And so Google kind of sees that Gary Busey's an influence on me, but it doesn't really say anything for Gary. Yeah, I'm saying that wrong. If Gary, right, yeah, you're not my friend, but if Gary, say, tweets back, hey, thanks, then it kind of shows Google, all right, Gary also is voting for me. I'm voting for him because he's influencing me, and he's influenced back. So I kind of look at it kind of like links. And we often try and bait people on Twitter to get them to respond and to get them to follow and to favorite and to retweet. And I think part of it as well with building up your social following is part of your end goals are influencers. They're not your beginning goals. It's not, all right, we're going to start and go right after these influencers. Like, no. We're going to build up some street cred. We're going to have many months of doing this. We're going to build up the right kind of following and do the right things. And then we're going to bait the influencer. You must get baited all the time. You get baited all the time?
Probably.
It's always like, Ann, can you write a post for us? Or can you write an article for us?
But even small things like, can you retweet that? Can you favorite that? And stuff like that, which is fine.
It's just fine. That's fine.
It's fine. I've been so long in this industry, and I've got to ask some people for a favor. People ask me for a favor, and if it's a good article, I will never be like, you asked me. No, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. If that's good content, I will always do a favor.
I'm terrible. Unless it's someone that I know. If I know them really well and they're like, hey, can you retweet this, whatever? Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure. I know so many people. I'm never sure if I really know that person well or not. That's my problem. I'm always afraid to make a mistake. Like, maybe I know that one, but I don't remember.
But if someone took one of your quotes from you and put it on a nice picture and tweeted it, and you saw that, you'd probably be like, oh my God, that's great. And then if the person like next week said, hey, I'm that guy that did that picture. Can you tweet this or something? You're like, that guy's cool.
That's why I usually do the favor. Again, if the content is fine and it's relevant to what I do and to what I'm interested in, I would retweet just of the fear that probably he probably did something for me 2 weeks ago, but I forgot. So even if they don't mention that, I always assume that probably that's a good person, so I'll do a favor. If that's a good content.
Careful, you're going to get everyone asking you now. And retweet
this. I don't mind. I've been so long in this industry, and I think I've asked for votes too. So
okay,
I've been there.
I got an email from you the other day, and I kind of read into it that you wanted me to tweet it, and I tweeted it.
No, that was not to tweet. You asked for the tool to export the Twitter followers.
I thought you sent me an email, and I'm like, she must want me to tweet this, so I tweeted it, and then suddenly I got like 8 more tweets after it, and I'm like, all right,
No, you asked for the tool. Yeah, but thanks for the tweet.
You're welcome. See, I voted for you, and in a sense, because I tweeted it, I mentioned Ann, and then Ann retweeted it, so we influenced each other. We cross-linked. Now, in link building, that's kind of bad if everything is reciprocal. So yeah, you should also tweet things people outside.
I think on social media it's a bit different.
Yeah.
Because if it's reciprocal, that's the real relationship.
Reciprocal is good on social.
Yeah, like in any relationships, like. If it's just one, I'm
links
sure
is weird. You can't pay for it. You can't reciprocal it. You can't.
We're not talking about links.
It's like
Can
relationships.
You just switch off?
We're talking about relationships. And
relationships, not
relationships.
Links.
Can you pay people to tweet? Should you buy followers?
They have no value, like. Unless, I tried buying followers through Twitter ads.
Through Twitter themselves?
Yeah, Twitter.
Wow, buy followers?
No, they can advertise your profile or something.
I've tried that too. It was junk.
Yeah, it was junk.
Yeah.
So I tried the official
promoted post or whatever, yeah. Was that a promoted post? Or?
They have different kinds of promotional
I did do something. I did do a promote me.
You can promote yourself on Twitter, which I'm not sure if it's still there, but I tried it maybe a couple of years ago. Yeah. You can promote your profile, or you can promote a tweet.
I tried it last year.
Yeah, I tried both. Neither of those worked.